Hello, good evening, and welcome to Magic's Deepest Chasm Pitch Lufenia Plus. This is Lana Rain's heretic fight against the Lamia Queen and her Warrior of Light and Pinello mannequins. And this fight turned a few heads back in JP when it came out, because on paper the orb looks quite difficult. It's deal 850,000 damage with a single character, ably handled there by Zack's meteor shots. And although that looks a little bit daunting on paper, it's not too bad, for a number of reasons. Firstly, this is an AoE fight, so even Kursame call there was doing 450k, Jesus. 2, the orb disappears after 50%, so you don't need to keep it up for the whole fight. 3, characters just can deal that much damage now. Zack is a great example of it, Van. I'm sure there's plenty of characters that can handle the orb. I think I saw a Golbez. It took a lot of support, but made it work. And 4, perhaps most saliently, a lot of people are just handling the orb by bringing Twins Friend in immediately, and Twins do stupid AoE damage. If you press Burst and then LD 4 times, you've probably ended up doing enough damage to take the Lamia Queen down below the 50%, along with your other characters by that point. So yeah, very, very nutty damage. But I haven't done that. I've brought Zack, because my goodness, can he do a lot of damage with Brave Gain support. 900k there. So even not counting in the 450k's worth of splash he was doing, he would have been handling the orb. Love to see it. If you've been following any of my run videos recently, you'll have seen I've brought Zack to every event since he came out, but I really like these Brave Gain base supports. He doesn't need to worry too much about the Brave damage he's doing, but he has got Rush Assault if he wants to go down that route, because Chain Slash only has 2 hits per dump. But the key thing with his gains in between his dumps is they're based on the damage dealt, based on that initial HP damage, which means he wants to go in batteried, but he also has a refund. So you can see how those Brave Gain effects just sort of snowball to make him do, my goodness, just stupid amounts of damage. And I'm really, really happy with how he's been in these fights. In fact, there are some difficulties in this fight in particular, which is when the ads die, the main boss tries to respawn them. You can see currently she's targeting herself, and she wants to use Arise, which means she's not targeting Zack, which is a pain, which means Chain Slash would only go once, so we need to stick with Rush Assault for now. But she'll resummon them back as soon as possible. But the upshot of that is that it means we don't really want the ads to die, because that slightly limits how much damage Zack's going to be doing. And that brings us to the ads, which are a real problem in this fight. Now these both use their LDs. So for Warrior of Light it's Bitter End, which means it'll inflict lock on whoever attacks it, on whoever it attacks, rather. So they won't be able to target the main boss. We definitely don't want that on Zack. It does a lot of damage, might just kill you outright, but I think Zack can probably survive it. And also gives a shield, which we don't want. Perhaps even more annoying is Pinello when she comes back, because her LD she likes to use is Evanescence, which is totally Brave Gain base damage, so Zack's gonna struggle to survive it. Pretty sure he can't. But it also cleanses all debuffs, which is just not a good thing. Really don't want it, so we don't want Pinello to go. Now, what the game really wants you to do, I think, is to bring Twins to just murder the ads and make sure the Lamia's turns are solely devoted to resummoning them. Because her turns can be quite dangerous as well. She can do some nasty attacks to you. Strangle can just kill you with its gain into HP damage. She can paralyze you with her charm, which you don't want. All in all, not great if the Lamia is acting. But I've elected to go with Agrias here, because Agrias is bringing that extra support for Brave Gain up, certainly helping Ishtola do a little bit of extra damage. She's got Faded Moly for the extra HP damage when it isn't necessary. And her EX actually works for Pinello, for the LD. I did that lucksack Judgement Blade, hoping for a Paralyze, because I wasn't sure if Silence would work on Bitter End. I don't think it does. So, could have been the end of the run back there, but oh well. Right, and we've lost the orb already, which is great. She's healed the ads to full, so Zack can go ham with his Chain Slash, and gained a huge amount of bravery. Not that that's a problem for us, because they will not be acting, so we don't need to worry about them doing too much damage with it. And Zack is not remotely reliant on shaving for his damage, so it doesn't really affect us too much. So most of the rest of this fight is just going to be putting out enough damage to kill them. I'm not totally sure how to feel about it design-wise. There's things I like and things I don't. What I don't like is quite how dominant a strategy it is to bring Twins Friends and just nuke it down. I have done a run that I will be showing off a little bit later, which does use that very, very heavily. Because even if you couple Twins up with another damage dealer, their burst effect is so powerful, boosting those HP damage caps. You'll be seeing Varn do some very nice things. The other thing I don't totally love is that you have this situation where you can't let the ads act, but Penelo cleanses, which means there are various strategies that wouldn't work on Penelo. Most obviously, you can't use Kimahri for Penelo. That's what I really wanted to do, but I made it work. You'll see that in another run if you stay tuned. So what a lot of people have opted for here in particular is to bring Arciella for her HP silence. I think I've seen some Kefkas as well. Because that way you don't have to worry about the super dangerous attacks. And Arciella has nice auras to boot. And it works pretty well. You might think, well, just delay them. No problem with delaying them. Garland just got his BT+, they're clearly encouraging it. But the other slight issue with that is if the Lamia goes 10 turns without acting, she will warp her turn. They're really into their turn warps at the moment. And that's not so bad if she had maybe summoning one of the ads queued up. But she also cleanses all her debuffs, so not something we want to happen again. I think you probably could bring a team that's not really focused on debuffs. Maybe make that work and just tank the turn warps. I know one strategy that has been used quite a lot is what's being called the 1% team, which is Green Vayne, Green Barts, and Green Cloud of Darkness. You can bring the Vayne, not the Vayne, you can bring the Barts or the Cloud of Darkness as a friend, if you need to. And just blowing it up, you know, going very, very far down the fight within those 10 turns, Vayne Burst and Summon Phase. Nutty damage output with that. But beyond that, it's very, very dangerous. People have used delay strategies. Quistis has been used to relative success. Garland's been used as well. So it's not impossible. But you have this particular tension between not wanting the mannequins to act and kind of needing the Lamia to act. And also the tension of not really wanting the Lamia to act while there isn't, while both ads are on the field. You can see they're not. She's summoning A, which means we've had to go back to the rush assaults. But we're near the end of the fight. I don't think there's too much to worry about. Not too much at stake here. Oh, I really wish Divine Retribution was full AoE. It feels like it should be. When you use that against multiple ads and or other multiple enemies and it's all split, it feels so much worse than using it against one or two and just seeing 300,000s. Alright, just refreshing that burst. You can see quite how unnecessary that friend probably was, because we're so near the end of the fight now, and didn't need it at all. So a couple of rush assaults to finish it off. High turn rate, giving him 2 turns in a row. Really, really like that. Ooh, she survived. Surprised. So we'll finish it off with Agrias and be done with the fight. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned, and psych, that's not actually the end of the fight. Really annoying. Same thing happens with the Shulk fight. You have to kill the mannequins as well, which maybe I should have been expecting, but I really wasn't. So we got to deal with this pesky Warrior of Light. Fortunately, he is targeting Zack, despite me not having lockup on him. So we should get through him quite quickly. So this really is the end of the fight. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be putting out another run with, well, I'll just spoil it now. It's Kamari, Quistis, and Varn, which is was a real goofy run. Definitely worth checking out when I post it. So do stick around for that. But until I post that, thank you very much for watching. Have a great evening. And so I know you made it this far. Maybe post your favourite cocktail. That'd be quite fun. But until 12 million launch. We love to see it. Until then, have a great evening and goodbye.